Okay, so here is practical number 6. This is going to be the lower extremity or the leg. So we need the bones, the femur, we need the tibia, we need the fibula, and we need a foot. And you can use a full skeleton for this, guys. In fact, I recommend getting both the unarticulated bones and using a skeleton. And since this is a small class, you guys can do this in groups if you want to, just so that you know, okay, is this the right foot or is this the left foot? What do you think? Okay, so let's start with the femur. I'm getting delirious making these videos. All right, so here's the femur, okay? And always remember that if you're holding this with the head of the femur, as long as you're looking at it, and this is why you need to look at it next to a skeleton, with the patella there, the kneecap in the front, this is going to be I'm looking at it now from the back, this is going to be my right femur. So this is always medial. This is going to fit into that coxal bone. Okay, so this is the head. Where there is a head, there's a neck. Okay, where there's a head, there's a neck. These are trochanters. This is greater, and this one happens to be bigger, but this is greater trochanter. This is the lesser trochanter. That's the proximal end. Going to the distal end. Epicondyles, like we did in the arm, they're always on the outside. So since this is near the head, or on the same side as the head, this is the medial epicondyle, this is the lateral epicondyle. When we're looking at the condyles themselves, they are round articular surfaces. So this is going to be the lateral condyle, this is going to be the medial condyle. You see, it's nice and round and articular, and again, the medial side, you can see the head in the background. This is medial, this is lateral. Oops, sorry. Okay. Adductor tubercle is always going to be medial. It's this little tiny tubercle here, little kind of, this is more in an adult, it'll be more prominent in an adult bone. You can't really see it very well on this one. This is where your adductor muscles are going to attach, and they're going to help bring your leg from lateral to medial, from out to in, okay? Linea aspera, that's going to be this guy back here. Nice distinct line on the back. That's linea aspera. Intercondylar fossa, in between the condyles, that's what this guy is. Going back up to the proximal end, in between the crests, or in between the trochanters, we have a crest, intertrochanteric crest, this guy right here. There should be a little dent in the head here. This is called fovea capitis. And of course we have the patella. This one happens to be attached. They aren't all on all the bones, but this one happens to be. I picked it that way. So let's go to the medial lower leg bone. That's the tibia. And this one has red and blue because these are insertions and origins of muscles that would go onto these. And you don't need to know that right now. So let's talk about the intercondylar eminence. These are the condyles. And since I know this is my medial ankle, this is going to be, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to go from the bottom up in the description down here. So I'm starting down here. This is my medial malleolus. This is my inner ankle. Okay. So I know this is medial, right? So I would know this is my left tibia because this is medial. Again, use the skeleton. You don't need to know that right now, but you need to know this medial malleolus. This is our tibial crest. Look at that, baby. That's what you hit when you whack your shin, okay? Tibial tuberosity, that's what you whack when you hit your knee a lot of times. Not your kneecap, but underneath your knee. This is that bump. That is going to be a prominent thing that you bang a lot. Tibial tuberosity. Since I know that's my medial malleolus there, this is going to be my medial condyle. This is going to be my lateral condyle, and this is going to articulate with the condyles of my femur. In between here, this is my intercondylar eminence. This is where our cruciate ligaments are going to kind of attach. When we talk about the knee, we'll get to that. Okay. The outer or lateral bone of the leg isn't as thrilling. We have the head, and then we have our lateral malleolus. So this is our outer ankle. So when you bang your ankle from the outside or laterally, this is what you're hitting. Okay, pretty easy. Tarsals are easier than carpals. So let's go through these. The cuneiforms, there's a middle, a lateral, and a medial. Just go like this, 1, 2, 3. Okay, these three are cuneiforms. That's how you say that, cuneiforms. Talus bone, this is what our tibia sits on, articulates with. Okay, that's why the hole is there. It's for the model. So this bone is the talus bone. Calcaneus is going to be our heel. Remember that region, calcaneal region? That's a big bone. That's our entire heel. And then our cuboid bone is over here. And I skipped navicular. That's this guy right here. This is our navicular bone right here. So those are our tarsals. Here are our metatarsals. Makes up the arch of your foot. And then, of course, these are our foot phalanges. Once again, a distal, a middle, and a proximal phalanx. Phalanx is singular for phalanges on the 4 toes. And then the big toe has a distal and a proximal phalanx. And that's it for the leg.